there! I would like to introduce you to a new series I will be doing on my channel called Adventures in Retail. Now, I've worked in retail for several years. As soon as I could get working papers, I just always worked in retail, and anyone who has will tell you that the human race is a confusing, magical thing, because people will do some of the most miraculously unthinkable things in public with strangers, and it's almost fascinating in how utterly inconceivable it all is. So I figured that I would try to tell some of my most interesting retail adventures in themed videos for whatever I think the event will be. I probably might have more. I have no idea how many they're gonna be because I'm just gonna keep going off of funny, noteworthy stories, so let's go. The theme of this episode is stealing and the ridiculous times that people have tried to steal from my places of employment. When I was 17, I worked at a big chain corporation type of department store. I'm not gonna say where in case they have some kind of legal recourse to sue me, but the way that the building was set up was to get in, you could only get in through, there'd be the outside door and then the inside door, and you couldn't get out through the inside door here into the little midway section. You had to go around past the cash registers in order to get out of the store. So what some thieves used to do was they would wait by the inside door, and as soon as someone coming in from the outside would be in between both doors and they'd both be open, they would bolt out of the doors straight out of the store with stuff that they were holding, because once they were out of the store, legally we couldn't chase them. Although, to be fair, I don't think I would have chased them even if I was legally allowed to, because I'm not dying over a toaster. Also, as part of my job, it was required that if there was just a customer milling around, if you were on the floor, you had to talk to them to try to help them find what they were looking for. And I'm standing there and there's this lady who's just waiting around, and she has a vacuum cleaner and an iron in her cart. And I'm 17, so it doesn't even occur to me that something nefarious is going on. And I'm just, chatting to this lady, and she's just like, oh, all right. Someone comes in from the outside door, and both doors are now open. So the lady takes the closest object to her, which happens to be a turkey baster, throws it right in my face, and bolts out both the doors. So I just, having been hit in the face with a turkey baster, I'm just like, what? And she ran out of the store, and my manager is just like, what? You didn't think that she was gonna bolt? Like, what the hell were you doing? And then, obviously, we had to tell the police that we were thwarted by turkey accessories. This next one isn't a story about customer stealing, it's actually a story of an employee stealing. I worked at a small family business, and there was this one guy who, truth is, it's just noteworthy in the way he stole, because I don't know why he thought it was gonna get away with it. Like, okay, have you ever seen Arrested Development where maybe says, well, why can't we just take money out of the register? And George Michael tells her, well, like, they're counted. Every dollar counts, like, for a banana. So she starts throwing, like, bananas away and also taking the money, not really thinking that that's not how that works. So yeah, basically this guy did that sort of thing. Anyone who's ever had to make change, you take a big bill like 100 or a 50 and you go to a cash drawer type thing or what have you. For us it was bank envelopes, and you take out like 100 fives and you put in the $100 bill, so that way the managers or whatever, it's the money's even and whoever needs to who's gonna make a run to the bank to get more change, the money's in there. This guy apparently would pocket in the register. He'd like, if he was getting like $100 in fives, he'd like pocket the fives, and he also would pocket the $100 bill. And so the way like we started figuring out something was wrong was we'd go to get, like one of us would go to get changed, and there'd be no fives and no bills to replace them, so that way someone could go to the bank. And at first, innocently, we thought that it was someone who was new, someone who was a dumbass, and just didn't know that you couldn't just take them. But obviously, it was more nefarious than that. So basically, he was primarily stealing. He took some bigger bills, but apparently, primarily, he was taking fives. He was taking like hundreds of dollars in fives a day. And then they finally could prove that he did it by like marking $5 bills, and they found them on him, and they found that they weren't getting put in the register. But this guy ended up stealing like $15,000 in fives. I don't understand. Like, I mean, I don't advocate for stealing, but I certainly don't advocate for stupid stealing. Like, this is the worst. Like, he's just the dumbest thief ever. Like, how do you... I don't know. But the reason why I particularly remember that story was because, like, a lot of the places at this location didn't have security cameras, and then after this happened, we had security cameras put in, and we were just so annoyed because we couldn't get away with the normal tomfoolery that we could before. And not stealing, just, you know, tomfoolery, like ordering pizzas or whatever. Because of this asshole, we couldn't do it anymore. And we were so mad. And all because he was a dumbass who stole a bunch of shit in fives. This next one is just dumb. It's just dumb. At one point, I was working at a store right off the beach, and I was at a register that was outside facing like a parking area, and there was a beach shed next to me with a whole bunch of like boogie boards, sand buckets, beach chairs, umbrellas, you know, beach accoutrement. Standing there, you know, wishing to be euthanized as quickly as possible. And this little old lady comes up, grabs a beach chair, and starts walking away. Now, okay, I just figure she's like old and confused, so I go up to her, I like run after her and go, "Excuse me, ma'am, hi, you have to pay for that over here at the register with me." "What?" Ma'am, you have to pay for that over here. That's $21.19 with tax." "I don't have $21. "Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry, ma'am, then I need to take that back if you can't pay for it." "But I need a beach chair." Okay, ma'am, I'm really sorry, but you gotta pay for it then." "I need a beach chair because the sand hurts my bottom." "Okay, ma'am, you can either pay for it or you have to put it back. I'm sorry." "You know, I think I'm just gonna take it." "What?" "I'm just gonna take it. It's okay. It's alright." "No, it's not." Like, what? And let me tell you something, like the look in her eye when she told me that, like, it's okay, I can take it. Like, she must have gotten away with this at other places. Because she just had this look like she knew she was walking away with that beach chair. You could just see it in her little old lady beady eyes. So I tell her, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, like, no, you can't just take it. You either have to pay for it or I'm gonna need it back." "Oh, but I need it. It's okay, you can let me have it." "Ma'am, no I can't. Like, that's shoplifting. You have to pay for the beach chair or I have to take it back." "Oh, it's alright." After about like a couple minutes of this, finally I physically grab the beach chair and take it from her, and she just recoils dramatically. And this guy, this big, moosey, muscly, orange Dorito tan guy comes over, and he's like,
"Hey, what's going on over here?"
"She won't let me have a beach chair." And I just turned to the guy and I'm like, "Sir, this woman was trying to shoplift this beach chair from us." The big guy literally just does this. He just looked at the old lady, looked at me, and left. He didn't want anything to do with this bullshit. And I don't even blame him. So basically I take the chair back and the old lady leaves, but then later I see her getting into a van and she has like, there's like a full-grown man and woman and a couple of like, I'm guessing grandkids were with them. So this wasn't some doddering old lady who was completely unaccompanied and confused. She was with other people. She just must, in some other places, get away with being like, I'm ancient, and just taking shit. Like, what? No. No. That was weird. Now this last one is a bit embarrassing for me because it is a time when I accidentally was an accomplice to theft. Okay, it's really not that complicated of a story. It's one of those stories that's so simple and stupid because that's just how it happens. This was a few years ago and it was 4th of July and the location where I'm working at is packed. Most of the place is outside because it was kind of like a garden store where there was a lot of outside stuff. And it's hot and sweaty and I'm helping all these people and I'm running around and it was just you couldn't do a dang thing. It was just, oh, it was so crazy. So many people. And one of my coworkers runs up to me and says, hey, Emily, Chris just sold this this $1,000 rock and we have no idea how to move it. So I'm sitting there going, ah, Jesus Christ. And I go out there and the rock that they had sold was this giant piece of quartz crystal that, I'm not kidding, was like at least 4 or 5 feet long with these huge crystals sticking out of it. Think Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Like, this thing was massive and heavy. So we're just sitting there because it's me, this one other guy, and this 2 other teenagers. Like, so just these 2 kids and me. And we're just looking at how to move this thing, and it's basically just me and this other guy because the Chris dude was running the register, and we have no idea how to move this thing, and we ended up like MacGyvering a thing where we put like teenager on a dolly, and we had pushing the dolly, and I was carrying the other side of the rock. So we helped get this giant, massive rock out to this guy's car, and we sent him on his way, and we kept going on with this sweaty, hot, crowded 4th of July. So, as you can tell, this is the part of the story where everything goes horribly wrong. Later that night, when I'm off work, I'm out to dinner with my family, I get a phone call from my job, panically asking me, hey, Emily, yeah, did you sell a giant piece of quartz crystal from the back garden? Yeah, we sold that today. Some dude bought it. It was like $1,000, right? Emily, that rock was worth $6,000. What? So it turned out that this guy, because I gave him a description, and it turned out that this guy had been there like a week or so before, saw this giant piece of quartz crystal and spoke to my boss, and when he wanted to buy it, my boss said, okay, it's worth $6,000. The dude said, I'll give it to you for $1,000, and my boss said, fuck you. Now, apparently the guy must have waited until my boss wasn't there, and came in when it was just like packed, and it was like 3 like people obviously just trying to get everyone out the door. And I had no idea, and I explained that like I didn't even know that it like wasn't priced that way, because when I came into this situation, like my coworker had come up to me saying Chris sold this guy a $1,000 rock. I had no idea that this guy had like just scammed us. And not only that, but that I had helped him get this massive thing into his car. I aided and abetted like theft. And technically, isn't it, if something's over a certain amount of money, it's like a felony or something? I explained the situation. I even politely, because I was the most senior member there, I said, look, I'm sorry, it was a really hectic day, it was a complete and total accident, I take full responsibility. Luckily, like, my job was, they understood that this guy clearly just waited for the opportunity to pounce and nobody got fired. It was just a really unfortunate situation. Although they did make it a permanent part of the store's policy that if something is over $400, you have to call a manager. And I'm why that is. So those are my weird anecdotes I have about people stealing and about me accidentally aiding and abetting theft. So please stay tuned for more crazy videos about things that have happened to me in my long, arduous retail career. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if that's your thing, and send this video to everyone and their grandma.